Hey guys, it's Matt. I saw this headline, so I want to make fun of it for a little bit, maybe one other, and maybe a few other things, depending on how long this goes. It says the House passes Trump's 9 billion Doge or Doggy or whatever the F it is, cuts package in another legislative win for the president. 9 billion in cuts. That's the equivalent of somebody, let's say your sister-in-law is staying with you for a while and she's maxing out credit cards. And hey, look, Katrina, you need to control your spending. Oh, okay. I won't buy the Tic Tacs this week. She still goes. She still goes out to Saks Fifth Avenue, maxes out, gets new credit cards in the mail, Capital One special. She's not going to buy some Tic Tacs. That's actually a much bigger spending cut from Katrina than a 9 billion cut package. This is absolutely nothing, and it's an insult to our intelligence for many reasons, one of which they can't even cut back. There can't be a reduction in the deficit. The whole system would collapse in on itself. And if they wanted to, they can print up whatever they want. There is never a shortage of funds. Incredibly, they've still convinced the people that there's a shortage of funds. This is just unbelievable. The people out your window believe that money's tight. They can create whatever they want, and they've been on the books for 40 years saying they can create whatever they want. I talk about money printing, and somebody in the comments said, actually, Matt, it's money creation. Yeah, well, the way you say it is money printing. I know they don't go to a printing press in the backwoods where the moonshine's made. I know it's money creation and it's all digital. I mean, talk about the ultimate Pootie Tang Award. If you left that comment, don't get upset at me. Suck it up. Just think about the comment next time. I know it's not money printing. It's a way of saying something. But there's at any level of government, there's never a shortage of money. If they declare a certain town has gone bankrupt, then they have to do that to make it look good. The people around us are absolute idiots. The second part of this, the bullet point, is what really could get funny as we dive into it. Trump's victory was spending cuts over PBS and NPR, public broadcasting system, and national public radio, all, of course, supported by the feds for decade after decade. And it's a victory over PBS and NPR bias, but it will be devastating for rural areas, station leaders say. Well, station leaders say they're the ones that are going to be put out on their ass. They're the ones, why are you asking station leaders? They're the ones that just leased or whatever, put on the Rent-A-Center and the Lazy Boys and shit. They're paying per month for Rent-A-Center for the new couches and shit. They're going to have to give it all back. It'll be collected by Rocco and Bruno at the door when they can't make their $8 a month payments, and then they can't pay their $10 a month Colonial Life policies. Of course, they're going to say it's devastating. Why don't you ask somebody that's, say, impartial? For rural areas? So what the Appalachian Mountains where they're washing their dishes in the back stream, they're going to miss their NPR news with the left-wing slant and the they-thems and all that comes with left-wing America? The rural areas don't give a shit. Okay, they might miss their Big Bird or whatever. Is Sesame Street and that shit still on? Fine. Everybody's going to miss that. I'm going to miss that. Rural areas aren't going to miss the left-wing news and the they-thems. What the hell is this bullet point even referring to? Here's the article. We'll dive into it in just a moment. Of course, the image is spaghetti scrimmages. Makes sense that every corporation uses one source for all their images. That doesn't reveal a one-world system. Matt, are you going to say that Yeah, I am. It's one of the biggest reality giveaways of all time, that every corporation uses basically one source for all their images when there's 28 million 4K images taken a day by people's phones. It's just all it is a picture of the side of the building, but you have to go spend $400 to get the image from spaghetti scrimmages. Yeah, it's just a picture of the side of the building. It says PBS. Any second grader with a phone, do they give phones out to elementary school kids? They probably do now. I don't even know. And the Trump's victory over PBS, it's by Brian Stelter of CNN. Is anybody working for CNN? If you go to CNN Atlanta and the doors are locked, but if you could actually get in, is it just robots and bots? Is Brian Stelter? If you're real, sir, reach out to me. Don't you want to interview a conspiracy theorist? Don't you want to know why we think the way we think? Come on, Brian, look at this. This guy looks like a real handjob jerk. Okay, guys, just a minute or two before we dive into this important article about the NPR and the PBS job cuts. The troll activity overall against me is way down over the last 3 years, but every once in a while it rears its ugly head. Or some comments from the last few videos. Somebody said there's a channel that popped up against me that's saying I'm a Trans-Siberian Railroad rider. It said I was a Trans-Siberian Railroad rider, so I'm not really what I say I am. See, it's all to put doubt about Matt. And they don't have anything. They can never go against what I'm saying. They can't say, well, here's why I disagree with Matt. And let me outline the bullet points as to why I disagree with the core points of his argument. They never do that. It just put a little doubt out about Matt. He's either Joe Rogan or Billy Corgan. Oh, boy. See? Right in the middle. There's a smoke alarm going off, and there's no fire here, I assure you. It's just here to harass me. Thanks a lot, Not Milk. I'd say it stopped. It stopped. What the hell? Smoke alarm just went off for 5 seconds. It was that troll or something said, oh, I'm a Trans-Siberian Railroad operator. Well, I can very easily prove my birth certificate says male. You, Erin Burnett out front, you bring her out back, and I'll remember what she was 20 years ago, and I'll prove it to you. Matt, you going to pick on middle-aged women? Oh, yeah, I just pick on the middle-aged women. I'm a masochist. Y'all should unsubscribe. I'm not an equal opportunity offender or anything. What did another comment say? I think it was just in the last video. It said, why are you holding the microphone like every TikToker or something like that? It's like the one video I didn't use the headset. The headset with the big head of hair I put over my bald head. I picked up the microphone because I guess the headset was unplugged or for whatever reason. And I'm holding the microphone a certain way. Why are you holding the microphone like every TikToker? How am I supposed to hold the microphone? You just pick it up and you hold it in front. I mean, am I supposed to put two hands on it like Roger Daltrey singing Rain on Me? I mean, what am I supposed to do? These trolls or whatever, and the trolls come every few months. And about a year ago, it was every few weeks, there was this rash of comments. Matt, do a live stream. Matt, do a live stream so the trolls can invade the live stream. I'm sure there's been good subscribers that are part of the old guard here that have asked me to do a live stream over the years. There's many reasons I loathe the live stream. And the trolls were hitting me with this about a year ago because I'm sure they wanted to invade the live stream or do whatever they do. I mean, there's many reasons I can't stand the live stream. First of all, you have the idiotic chat going on. It's never about what anybody's talking about. It's like this idiotic chat over here as just a distraction. And then how about when you start the live stream? Starting the live stream, who do we have? We have 3 people? We'll wait a bit. Let's wait 10 minutes. We have, hey, Luther from Jersey City. How you doing? Yeah, I got your email with the picture of your sister. No, I don't want to date her. Who do we have? 7 people? 10 people? Let's wait a little bit. Let's wait. Live stream. Let's wait 5 more minutes. Hey, Luther, I got the picture of your sister. Yeah, Luther from Jersey City. Yeah. I mean, then they'll start individual conversations with, this isn't, I'm sorry. This isn't what we do here. The only decent live stream I've ever seen is from Commander Lou. That was it. It's a small, intimate group. It's the only decent one I've ever seen. And people go, you can do a live stream. No, I do 45-minute videos without any edits or cuts as I'm just looking into this green light that stares at me, the emerald green light that stares at me from the iMac, and I'm incapable of speaking extemporaneously. It would be very, very hard for me to do a live stream. It's not the reason I don't do it. Oh, God. Let's get back to this idiotic article. Public television stations will be forced to make hard decisions in the weeks and months ahead, PBS CEO Paula Kerger said Thursday after lawmakers advanced a bill that cancels all the federal funding for the network and for NPR. Why is the bot doing it again? It reverses everything. It does Yoda speak. The bot and the computer understands everything all at once. Bot, that's not how the human brain works. It always is reversed like Yoda speak. Go to him, you will. No, you will go to him. Here's how you write it, bot. You tell him what's going on first. After lawmakers advanced a bill that cancels all federal funding for the network and for NPR, public television stations will be forced to make hard decisions. It's that simple. You put the important point first, you idiot bot. It does this all the time. It drives me nuts. Sorry. Radio and TV stations may need to lay off staffers and cut back on programming. Well, Pootie Tang Award, if all the federal funding's drying up, yeah, there's going to be some layoffs. You think these idiots can survive on their own with good programming? All they do is spout out they-thems. That's not good enough to survive on your own. They'll have to put in advertising. But what kind of advertising would want to take a risk on such bad programming? Popular show, and they already have advertising because they do their fundraisers. You're watching some cool concert and these two idiots pop in and like, we need to raise money now for 20 minutes. Oh, it's like, fuck. You need to raise money now, and you got to buy your CD collection for $1,000. Just put the damn concert back on. Sorry, and put Amazon ads on. I don't know. It's better than watching a stupid fundraising effort for 20 minutes out of every 30. I only hear one song at a time. Sorry, popular shows like Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. Does anybody have any idea? Is that the Tiger King? What is that from a few days ago? May reach fewer people. Pootie Tang Award. Of course it's going to reach fewer people if the funding dries up and they go out of business. Matt, this is saying they never needed the funding. I mean, if Big Bird of Sesame Street fame isn't going away, why not? If the funding is drying up and there's no programming and their stations go dark, why isn't it going away? This is some sort of a truth drop that they don't need the funding, but the federal system that supported him for decades is being stripped away. If the federal system supporting Big Bird is being stripped away, then how come Sesame Street's Big Bird isn't going away? It doesn't make any sense. Oh my God. Matt, you could do a whole YouTube channel just advising the bot how to write properly. House Republicans passed the spending cuts bill shortly after midnight Friday. Once President Trump signs the bill into law, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, that's PBS, budget will be zeroed out for the first time since 1967. Zeroed out. What does that even mean? It just is not going to have any more funding. It'll be zeroed out. Literally, what does that even mean? Back when television stations still broadcast in black and white. It's a long-sought victory for Trump, who has harshly accused PBS and NPR newscasts of being biased, and a long-dreaded disruption for local stations that bank on taxpayer support. There it is again. How is it a disruption if the funding's drying up? Everybody expects they'll go out of business or become defunct because they need the funding, right? We have to have the funding. So how is it a disruption? What does this even mean? A disruption is like my cousin Vinny. Remember? He went to get to the tailor and the dressmaker, and they was closed because of flu. The whole store got the flu. My cousin Vinny said, so I'm wearing this ridiculous thing, Judge, this magic outfit for you. The whole store got the flu. That's a disruption in business. The flu ends, they come back and they make the dresses and they make the suits. They're supposed to go defunct and out of business. Is this some sort of truth drop saying they didn't need the funding to begin with and you see how they'll magically continue? Or the funding will just be there, but it'll be through roundabout channels. Won't be on the federal budget, but will come in through different sources. They're not all going to go away. You know they're not all going to go away. Oh gosh, it's such an insult to our intelligence. And maybe I should give the bot a break. Remember Hal in 2001 A Space Odyssey got confused? I guess 2010 explained it. Say, Hal wasn't meant to lie. It wasn't Hal's fault. Conflicting information confused Hal. He didn't know what to do. And okay, maybe it's the same here. Because everything is a roundabout lie and manipulation. The bot doesn't understand how these not-milk minions work, and it gets confused in its presentation in these fake CNN articles. Guys, the reason I left the car ad, in this case for Range Rover, you've seen it, whether I don't know if it's a YouTube video or Reddit or somewhere else, where the SUVs especially look so similar to one another that people are theorizing that it's coming off the same Chinese assembly line. Like, what's underneath? The guts, the chassis, the main parts. And they slap in certain flex panels or whatever, and the dash looks different on Range Rover than it does on Ford. But there are people that theorize that for at least most of these are coming, the chassis or whatever you call it, they're coming off the same Chinese assembly line, and no matter what brand, they're using about 70% of the same parts. So you want to spend up, I want quality, I want Range Rover, I want Jaguar, I want whatever. You're basically getting the same thing as the Ford. They could potentially, at least what's underneath, the guts of it could be coming off the same Foxconn jumper nets assembly lines. Tonight, our network's service to the nation. How is a they-them agenda service to the nation? It suffered a tremendous setback, NPR said in a statement following the House vote. Together and with support from listeners and readers in communities around the nation, we will work to rebuild. This isn't the Marshall Plan, sir, and your German city's now leveled. What do you mean work to rebuild? Your shit's still there. You didn't have a fire or something. What do you mean rebuild? You're still there. Your fat asses are still sitting in your decrepit desks. This language is all wrong. Rebuild. Do you need the support or not? With support from listeners. You're going to do even longer fundraisers during your shit? The precise effects are hard to predict because our funders may fill in some of the gaps. They're going to fill in for the endless deep pockets of the federal government. You're just going to get a little more from Joey and Uncle Larry, and that's going to take the place of the tens of billions that you got from the federal government. If it wasn't, Trump said 9 billion. What are you going to do? Lemonade stands to just make up the difference? What does this even mean? However, public media executives say that some smaller broadcasters will be forced off the air in the months and years to come. See, that's what they'll do. There'll be the little West Virginia station down by Kentucky. Well, that'll go out of business. Most of it, Philadelphia, New York, it'll all stay there somehow. You'll see. It'll all still be there. Your Sesame Street will still be there. And the Tiger King, whatever that said earlier, you'll see all this funding. Was it so necessary? Well, they'll still get the funding, but in roundabout ways, off the books. Some will go out of business. Some little stations, and you'll hear about the carnage, but your Chicago station, somehow it'll still be there. They'll just make it up with lemonade stands and additional support from you, the viewer. Give me a break. The last segment got me thinking a bit. Is this finally something we can talk to normies about? Where I said in the major markets, New York, Chicago, magically the PBS station will still be there. Right? Of course. I think it's all just going to dry up and go away. Stuff like that, it never happens. In the whole reality, maybe this is something we can finally talk to normies about. Nothing ever happened. See the V of 2020. They came back 2 years later and said, my bad. Like was that from Clueless? They came back and, we should have treated it just like any other flu. That's a Wall Street Journal article that I saved. It says it should have been treated or now is treated just like any other flu. Nothing ever happens. 2008 financial crisis, all these billions thrown around and just, they had to make it look good with what Bear Stearns went out of business. And what was the other one? A few Countrywide Mortgage, and they were melded into other companies. Few people lost their jobs. They were just, Morgan Stanley was melded into, Morgan Stanley took over Merrill Lynch, but Merrill Lynch then still exists. It's under, whatever the damn stag is, the Cernuno stag is still out there on Wall Street. I mean, nothing ever happens. It just the U.S. bombs Iran and nothing ever happens. Everything just goes on. I mean, this is a false world in the extreme. You have your own examples, I'm sure, and ideas, but talk to the normie. Say, no matter what it is, nothing ever happens. And this is actually something very concrete we can point to. And 1 year from now, well, how is the New York PBS and NPR still there if all the funding dried up? And it does, right, I hear you. It doesn't matter. The normie will always be a defender of this reality. Will always have an excuse for and from the palace guard, the defenders of reality. Well, Matt, they simply stepped up their efforts and got private funding to step up. There will always be an excuse. All these NPRs and PBSs are still around. Well, nothing ever happens anywhere when they say something happens. See the V, we should have treated it just like any other flu. I mean, okay, same thing. I guess what I'm saying is this something we could talk to the normies about. I've already answered my own question. Of course it's not. They will come up with their own ready-made excuses as to how it happened or how NPR and PBS came out the other side with more private funding. The palace guard can explain away anything. The U.S. attacked Iran and it just went away after 2 days. You know that the MH360, or no, was it the MH370, the lost plane? You know what I think about that, of course. Matt, where do you think it really was lost? I don't. That news cycle went on for 8, 9, 10 days. And when the U.S. bombed Iran, that was just 2 days on the news cycle. So a lost plane that nothing even took off. That was 8 to 10 days in a news cycle. The U.S., at least for the 2-day period, World War III or whatever, the U.S. bombs another country in a very volatile, as to what they say and what they present to us, Middle East situation and Levant. What's the Levant? So it's stupid talk about the Middle East. That's just 2 days in the news cycle. What happened to the U.S. bombing Iran and potential World War III? Oh, forget about that. The Kardashians are releasing a new album. Oh my! So I answered my own question. Going back to a normie a year from now and saying all the PBS still around. Doesn't matter. They'll have an excuse. And as usual, it's pointless to try to get through to anybody. Thanks for listening.